shooter coming out. New shooter. Does the new shooter feel lucky? Well, does he?
Yes. Yes, he does.
One of my favorite things ever is when a movie cuts to credits.
The name's Bond. James Bond.
The cut to credits is the last cinematic punch the movie throws, and when it lands, it can be a real knockout.
Can you deal with that?
In discussing the cut to credits, I'm not talking just about the movie's ending, but specifically how many elements all affect and add to that one singular transition.
Oh, dear Lord.
That's classic!
I need to know now.
A line,
The way of the future.
What's your name? Murphy.
a look, a music cue, a sound effect, or an action can all culminate in that one final impactful transition that'll remind the audience just why they love movies. The cut can punch up that last laugh, or it can punch up the last badass line.
Now fucking pay me.
The best things in life are free.
The cut itself acts like an exclamation mark for the movie. A cut underscores the tone and theme of the movie.
I think this just might be my masterpiece.
The cut can leave you stunned, breathless, dumbfounded, blindsided,
So tell me, what's become of my ship?
or excited.
Avengers?
A cut to credits, to me, brings with it so much more feeling than a fade out, a dip to white, or credits scrolling over the final image.
And like that, he's gone.
If it's controversial or ambiguous, the cut can be a conversation starter.
In the end, all I could think about was...
A cut can emphasize hope and optimism, uncertainty or pain, or underscore the cyclical storytelling. It can mean the end of a character's journey or the start of a journey. It can set up new adventures and new installments.
Is she aware her daughter is still alive?
Yes! No!
Or it could underscore finality and could represent death. When it comes to the cut to credits, here are a handful of movies I believe cut to credits incredibly well, but are severely underrated. Since I don't believe in rankings, here they are in no particular order. Pirates of the Caribbean: The Curse of the Black Pearl.
On deck, you scabrous dogs! Hands to braces!
This cut to credits launched a franchise, and while the 2+ hours that preceded it are equally responsible for its success, the way this movie cuts to credits is epic. Though I've watched this movie a bunch of times, I've literally rewatched this cut to credits dozens and dozens of times. Not the whole movie, just this moment.
Drink up, me hearty yo-ho.
Look, I could read the phone book to this score and it'd be epic, but it's all the other elements, the look, the line,
Drink up, me hearty yo-ho.
the closing of the compass that make this one of the greatest cut to credits in all of movie history. If Jordan Peele and Zach Cregger have shown us anything, it's that comedic filmmakers and actors are also really good at conveying horror. Decades prior to their success, John Landis proved to be a master. One movie in particular ended with a perfect juxtaposition. That movie is An American Werewolf in London. The next movie I watched only one time, and it was when I was a kid in the 90s. As a mid-30-something now, how this movie cut to credits has stayed with me for decades. It's an all-timer, especially if you're in the mood for some good old-fashioned vigilante justice. The movie is Cop from 1988, featuring James Woods.
You're a cop. You gotta take me in.
Well, there's some good news and there's some bad news. The good news is you're right, I'm a cop and I gotta take you in. The bad news is I've been suspended and I don't give a fuck.
The line, the look, the gunshot, and the sound effect as it cuts. That pitch-perfect punctuation made a heck of an impact on one prepubescent viewer in particular. Some of the best cut to credits in movies are the ones that make you take a beat to digest what you just saw. Exhale and just process what the last couple hours were and what it all meant. When I first saw The Prestige in theaters, the cut to credits did just that. The movie comes full circle with Michael Caine's voiceover.
You want to be fooled.
The reason I think this is underrated though is because Christopher Nolan has some epic cut to credits, including Memento,
Now, where was I?
The Dark Knight,
A Dark Knight.
and of course, Inception. But lost in all of that is the brilliance of how The Prestige cuts to credits.
You want to be fooled.
Speaking of directors who love a good cut to credits, it's Cameron cut to credits Crow. Let me ask you this. How does Jerry Maguire end?
Help me help you.
Maybe you remember, and maybe you don't. But for those who don't, it ends on Jerry's mentor Dickie Fox imparting his last bit of wisdom.
In life, to be honest, I've failed as much as I've succeeded. But I love my wife. I love my life. And I wish you my kind of success.
If I pass this way
Is that how you remember it? If it isn't, I understand. Jerry Maguire is filled with memorable scenes and iconic lines, so much so that how it cuts to credits can often be overlooked, but it perfectly punctuates the message of the movie.
You complete me.
I'm finished.
Believe me, when it comes to end credits, there are plenty of underrated moments that we'll talk about in later episodes. We'll talk about underrated end credit sequences, end credit songs, the works. So if that interests you, please subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. That's it for now.
Now go. Vanish.